There's another thing that also I can't help believe that people keep talking about as well. And this is really relevant to me because the conversation has again just come up recently about accountability and forward-looking accountability. Now, in the book you talk about, there was someone, Marianne McCabe, I think, you can't have safety without strong empathetic relationship with others, and it totally is the foundation of safety, in my opinion. But do you kind of feel when we talk about accountability, are organisations going on that journey, or is it the forward-looking accountability? I mean, do you kind of feel like organisations are going on this journey, or is it just the same old with them, trying to fix 100 years of safety?
I mean, it's such a tricky question, especially like in different places. You know what I mean? Like speaking for, you know, the U.S. Versus where you are versus other countries. I mean, I think that people know when organizations have their interests at heart. I do think that becomes clear on a personal level. But, you know, and priorities are what makes that evident. You know, like I think often we talk about safety as a priority without talking about the bottom line. Mm-hmm. And those things, then it's not a priority, right? Because if you followed up, you'd be like, well, where does the bottom line fit into the priority list? They'd say, oh, the bottom line, and then safety after that. And which is fine. That's great. If they're being honest about it, that's great. But then safety is always going to not actually be the priority. And so there are so many ways to play lip service to safety. And like corporations have been, you know, honing this vocabulary for 150 years now, you know, since the Industrial Revolution. Like we have just been like churning out different, you know, spit shines on safety first. And, you know, I think when it comes down to it, like the one thing that matters is true priorities. And that's something I bring up. You know, I like to say that there are good examples. And so something you see in like in the drug use community and the drug safety community is harm reduction. And when we talk about harm reduction, you know, for people who use drugs, we talk about that keeping people alive is the only thing that matters. We don't care if they do drugs, don't do drugs, stop, or in treatment or not, keeping them alive. And so if that's your one priority, then you give everyone who uses opioids naloxone, you have safe injection centers, and you keep people alive. But if your priority is reducing drug use and drug safety, then people die. Vision Zero programs, where they're good. The ones in the US are terrible, but in like in you know what happens
in Australia as well.
Yeah. Worldwide, I think.
But if you look at Sweden, what Sweden did was said safety will be the priority above all else. Above all else. If you get to work, if it takes too long to get to work, that's okay because safety. If there's traffic, that's okay because safety. So I think, sure, there's just so much ways to play lip service, but true prioritization is kind of like the one test, I think, of where things are truthfully accountable. And I think when you see that, also the numbers go down. Like it works, you know, we know it works. So if it's not working, it's probably not true safety.
Like that.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Yeah, that's a beautiful explanation.